And of course, she's talking shit about you as she's leaving.
Of course she is. I wonder
Yeah.
where she got that from, though.
No, it can only be from you. Only be from you. Hey, what up, YouTube land? This is yours truly, Dr. Dan, Close for Cow, showing all of you how to get the yes.
With less stress, Dr. Sean, thanks for being here today.
So we're going to be talking about a topic that ruffles many feathers. Frankly, it's something that we talked about a lot back in the day, but apparently it's something that still pervades our the B2B in chiropractic, and that is consultants and coaches and all these other people requiring you to sign these ironclad contracts before you even get on a phone call with them. What we try to do is stay on top of the trends in how people buy stuff, and the only reason we're talking about this is because this is the same mentality that many of your patients are thinking when they have to decide whether or not they want to spend time with you, whether they want to spend money with you, and whether or not they want to commit to you. So we're going to cover that from the B2B side, but really we're trying to relate this to the B2C side, which is from chiro to patient and your marketplace in general. You know what I'm saying, Sean Rundle, DMC?
Yeah, I like what you mentioned with ironclad, dude. I mean, have you heard? You've heard. We've all. I don't know if you have, but we all know someone who has experienced these ironclad contracts where you're locked in for. We're not talking a couple $100 a month. We're talking thousands of dollars for a month for a year, if not 2-3 years. And I tell you, man, it's like, how has that ever made sense? If you have a consumer, if you have somebody, a purveyor of your product that isn't happy, isn't getting the results that you want for them and they want for themselves, why would you keep them locked into that? It actually harms your business, doesn't it? I mean, how are you going to get referrals from that person if they're not getting what they want? You want to do people right so that they actually refer you and talk about you and
yeah,
your
and
services.
Sean, you know what made me think about what you just said is like I kind of imagine what would happen if I walked into Starbucks and I go to buy something, and then someone says, "You know what? You're gonna have to sign a contract that you're gonna buy one cup of coffee from me a month or a day for the next 3 months."
Well, they do. They sell you on uploading a bunch of coin on your Starbucks card.
That's
their contract, but
totally. So, listen, this is where we come from. We in today's marketplace, the only reason that someone is loyal to a business or a service is because that business or service provides immense value and it's worth it to that consumer, period. Okay. Now, I do understand some of you naysayers out there. I already hear you. I got you. Well, you still got to sign a contract to like renting an apartment or like buying a car or like a mortgage. I mean, these arguments are just so there's so much fallacy and logic in this because that's a different world. Okay. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about contracts for you to provide a continuous service, and it's not working right now. Okay. If you're presented with a contract for, let's say, like a chiropractic consultant or whatever, I mean, I would look twice at that. There are a couple of people out there who do have agreements. That's different. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Mm-hmm. That's different. But having someone locked into an ironclad contract, which makes it impossible, if not very difficult, for them to opt out if the purveyor of the service or product is not living up to what they're supposed to live up to, right? Mm-hmm. That it should be see ya.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And then their answer is only, well, hey, we'll take it up with our legal department. Okay, now you're going to incur more fees and more time and more money. It's just ridiculous. And, going back to the example of buying a house, buying a car, those things, you could sell your house. You could sell your car. You can get out of those situations if you truly want.
True.
But when you go into these coaches and gurus and these different, companies, and they lock you into these contracts and you are 100% unhappy with the product or service, you should have an exit. They should have an exit plan or a strategy for you. It's like being in a bad marriage, man. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's options. Do something about it. But to be forced into something like that, it's just, in today's world, it's just bad business, plain and simple.
That's our stance. Now, if you're watching this and you disagree, I would love to talk to you. Like, I want to hear the other end of this, because so far when I try to become unbiased about it, I can't, because listen, what we do is we practice arguing for another opinion that we don't agree with. Why do we do that? Mm-hmm. Because in sales, you have to always see another opinion that you don't agree with, so that you can come to some type of resolution or solution to the problem, which is actually what sales is. So we do that often. So when I think about this, I'm like, okay, so someone who wants a contract, why do they want it? And I don't really see the justification other than, oh, that's just how we always done it, which is not a reason you should be doing shit. Okay,
I can see why they do it.
tell me, help me, play devil's advocate. I'd love to do this.
They don't trust their own product or service.
Okay.
Sorry, that's you want your feathers ruffled. There they are. You don't. If you trusted your product or service, you wouldn't have to lock somebody in to buying it. Now, listen. If the reason why they made this, let me see if I can come from their perspective. I'm going to lock you into a contract because I know if I do, then perhaps, hopefully, you'll follow through with everything that I do and recommend following my program in its entirety. Then, hopefully, I will have shown you enough things or ways to do things in order for you to get something out of it. I don't care if it's, I didn't fulfill the complete promise, but hopefully you got something out of it to where, okay, we're good. You probably won't do it again. But I think that's the only thing that they do. Like, Dan, if our shit was bad, right? If we had to lock somebody in, we would be concerned or worried that people would be dropping out after week 1, week 2, week 3. We don't lock people in, right?
That's true.
And we haven't had anybody drop out because we trust on our product and our service, and we deliver everything that we say we're going to deliver. If you do that, there's no need for contracts. So I don't know. Maybe that's why they do
maybe
that.
Maybe they would never admit that. Of course,
no, of course they would not.
That? But again, I would love to see the other end of the conversation on why they would want that. If indeed they, let's say, they do stand behind their product and their service to be consumed continuously without having to lock someone in. Like, I'd love to hear that conversation.
Oh, dude, we're open to hearing that too. If there's people out there, hey, folks, if you're out there and you run a company or you do a consulting or you do some kind of coaching and you lock them into contracts, please, enlighten us. We want to understand how you come up with that idea and why you support it.
Bring it. We'd love to see it. And by the way, this brings up another issue, is that the chiropractic industry generally are really bad at debating, because most people, I don't know if it's just our industry, like we're so bad at debating because you just take it so personally. If anyone out there just said, hey, I think you guys are dead wrong. Okay, cool. All right, I've been wrong before. Okay with that. Bring it. Let's talk about it. Let's have a critical thinking conversation and debate this thing like adults. Okay, bring your best argument forward. Let's see what we come up with, because the beauty of debate, Sean, and I know you know this, because even amongst ourselves, we debate. Okay, and there's nothing personal about it. We just debate. I don't think that's a good idea. Well, what about this? Well, let me tell you what I think. Like, we do that too internally.
Done right, it's very healthy.
Very healthy. And what actually happens is, I might not get my way. Sean might get not his way, if let's say we're debating, but what comes from it is something completely different that works everywhere. It's crazy how that works. That's why we want debate. Anyway, without getting on a tangent.
Well, it's just a bigger understanding. And the more you understand, the more you can better serve your market.
Generally, yes. If done correctly. Done correctly. And that's what we really want for the industry, is to critically think and have conversations.
Guys, if you haven't caught on by now, Dan would love for you to call him, get on a line, and debate with him. And it'll be a healthy debate. If you haven't seen him done it before, it's actually a very respectable, professional debate. But that's what he's asking. He loves this stuff.
I loves it a lot.
Hit him up.
I loves it. Yeah, I really do. And also, if you're debating your position on something, it only reinforces your ability to eloquently express your position without saying, I'm right, you're wrong, you're a dick, I don't like you. It's like, whatever. And if I ever debate anyone, I don't name call. Okay. It's just nothing personal about it. I mean, I guess we just got to see it done probably. So far, I got no taker. So whatever. I'll just
It's not going to be a Trump versus Hillary debate.
Oh, yeah. That's not a debate.
That's not even a debate, man. That's just
such bad role models for debate. Golly. Okay. Anyway.
Okay.
Moving forward. So if you understand that the modern marketplace is only going to be loyal to you if they choose to be loyal to you, you better make sure that your service and product is top notch before you can even sell it. Okay. And we always tell our clients this, and most of our, if not all of our clients, come to us. And this is typically the MO, right, Sean? Like, they have a kick-ass service. They're very conscientious clinicians. They have a great facility. They have a great staff. They have everything going for them, but yet they just can't get more and more people to accept it. Okay, that's kind of our typical like demographic or our profile. But if you are someone out there who you can't say to yourself, "Do I have the best service?" If you hesitate on that, okay, you got to get the best service. There's so many resources out there. What's another aspect of a business, Sean, that they could ask themselves if they are the best at?
Marketing.
Okay, are you the best marketer? You got to be able to say yes. How about, do you have the best staff? If you can't say yes to that, you better get it. Do you have the
Technique.
best facility? If you can't say yes to that, you better get a good facility. By the way, a coat of paint goes a long way.
It
Decluttering
does.
your office goes a long way.
There.
Deep cleaning your office goes a long way.
If you take anything away from this live, there you go.
That's
You're
big
welcome.
time. Yeah, there's so many beautiful offices out there, and you go into your office, this place sucks, whatever. Really,
Well,
you really
Jen, that's
give
the
it a
other thing
chance.
too that that we bring to the table is we really, I mean, I guess we could lock them in a contracts, but why? Because what we do is we fulfill their need or desire right up front. We give them everything that they need very specifically. Our market is a niche market. We teach you how to sell your product. We're not going to teach you how to adjust somebody. We're not going to teach you how to market. We're
Mhm.
not going to teach you how to run your staff, although we have ways of helping you in those areas. Our thing is how do you sell more of what you do? That's it.
Period.
I don't
That's
care
it.
if you're a just only. I don't care if you do every PT on the planet, if you're
Mhm.
multidisciplinary, that doesn't matter. We are non-denominational, as we've always said, and we don't discriminate against anybody. All we're here is to do is teach you how to sell more of what you do. That shouldn't require to be locked into a contract.
Right.
That we are giving you everything. We're not just leading you with the carrot, giving you little bites and pieces here. That's maybe why people are putting contracts into their program, is because they're not giving them everything that they need. Listen,
Drag it on.
if you need a new car, you come to the lot, you're going to drive off with your new car today. Done. Everything's completed. That's what you get from us. And I mean, I could go on and on with the things
Well,
that we do
well,
differently, but
you bring
that's
up a
the
good
reality.
point on why we don't need our contracts, because, like, yeah, we give you everything you need as soon as the transaction's done. There's no requirement for us to drag it on. And
Problem solved.
which makes me a little suspect of the people who drag things on over months and years. Like, do they have a real reason for doing that, or is it a way to unfairly ask more of the consumer when
Well,
you can
Dan,
give them
okay.
all at once? I mean,
The
I don't get it.
the car in the house is a perfect example. Yeah, that's a contract, right? Because it's still my fucking house. It's still my car, meaning the
Mhm.
bank.
Right.
I'm gonna give it to you, and then you'll just make payments to me, right? So I
Mhm.
get that. There's a contract that's understood. That's acceptable. With us, we're not giving you, just loading you something. You actually own everything that we give you. And you have everything that you need to go become a better closer, to close more of your people, to say yes to your product and to your service and to your fee schedule. You get all of that. So I guess you're right. There is no need for a contract with
No need.
us.
I mean, I guess we could, Sean. I mean, we could take our stuff, and drag it out over like 3 years, charge them X amount of dollars per month for 36 months, and then contract them so that we make sure we get paid regardless of what they feel like they're getting. I guess we
Yeah,
could
but
do it
then
that way.
you got to
But
guarantee them a weekly phone call and bow breed them the whole time.
right. But but that model is dying, is what we're saying. Not because we want it to be that way, it's because the marketplace is demanding that they buy certain things a certain way now. Okay? That is not in our control. We can't change that. People are impatient. They want it now. They want it yesterday. They want it in their way, and that's it. Like for us, we have an online a process. The same people can come to a live event. Like we try to cover all the bases for all the people that want to consume that particular way, right? So we give the freedom to our clients to buy it in their own way, which is exactly that way that we want you to approach your patients on how they buy. So,
Mhm.
okay, so here's the full circle, and then that's it. Is are you in an office where before they do their first adjustment, you have like an agreement or a contract? Here are our policies. If you're late more than 3 minutes, you'll get charged. Blah blah blah. You check it off down a list. I mean, do you do that? Do you treat your patients transactionally and administratively as opposed to earn their trust because you know how to sell, push, and close chiropractic?
You mean like getting the spouse to the day two, the ROS?
Yeah, shit like
The
that.
first, yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. Okay, let me repeat what I just said in a different way. Is, do you want your people to do right by you because they understand your expectation and all of the things that they do is for their benefit, not the
Boom.
offices, their benefit. So they're naturally motivated to do things on their own, or are they doing things because you have a contract and you have a policy? Let me bring this back to parenting. Okay. Sean and I have small children. Is the right way to be like, hey, Emma, do it this way. This is how it's supposed to be done, or you're in big trouble. I mean, I understand as parents we do that sometimes, but we already know in the back of our heads that's not really the right way to do it. It's just because we're fucking lazy and like, we're we have our own
We would
issues.
never put up for their teachers doing it to them that way. So why would it be okay for us?
Exactly. Don't you want to empower your people by earning trust and rapport so they want to do right because it's right, and they want to maybe in a certain way, follow your lead by example because they respect and trust you,
What a
and so they
concept.
do show up on time. They don't miss visits. They refer, right? Not because they're not going to refer because we told, hey, Sean, it's our policy to make sure that you write the names of 5 people in your immediate circle of influence so that they can get their spines checked for the obliteration and subluxation complex. Like, this is the shit that we used to do,
Yep, that's right.
right?
Closing is a service, man.
It's a
I don't care
service.
where you go. If you go to a restaurant, you expect to be served in a timely manner, in a timely fashion. If you go to the dry cleaner, you expect to be served as soon as you walk up to the counter, the grocery store, anywhere you go. So why should it be any different? That person needs to feel like they are in a service environment and they are being served with the utmost respect, with the utmost trust, and the best experience possible that benefits their wants, needs, and desires, and not specifically your office. That's why we always say you don't close for you, you close for them. It's a
Yeah.
service you're doing for them. You do that, and you will have the unlimited success in your practice and life. It's crazy,
Totally.
but that's it.
And maybe some of you are like, that's really idealistic, docs. Like, I understand that'd be really nice if people did things on their own without the pressure of having to like follow policy and rules and laws. I get where you may be coming from, but this is where we're coming from. We want to exhibit the same level of trust and faith in our patients, right? As we want them to put into us. Make sense? And that's where we live.
That's a relationship.
And if you can't live that way, then okay, power to you. Figure out another way. But then you're the guy with the contracts, and I get it. But especially in chiropractic, where we're the most altruistic profession I think in the world. Like, what happened? Like, why do we treat our patients transactionally like commodities, right? And the more you treat your patients transactionally and as commodities, the more they will treat you as transactionally and as a commodity. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
Just think about that. By the way, the reason this conversation came up is because while we're going through the day 1, day 2, and we teach our docs how to do what they do, the general tendency of our patients to see us less transactionally and less commoditized comes up naturally in the way that we onboard them from the beginning. That's when it all starts. That's why for us, the day 1, day 2 is everything. It's like the hub of a practice. It's the hub of a business, okay? If any business, the first interaction, the onboarding process of a sale of a product or service, it's the initial contact.
Can we
And
call
how
it the
well did you do that?
conception
The what?
period? The
The
conception
conception. Sure, Sean.
period.
Okay.
We are birthing a beautiful relationship.
Whatever. You
It's got to
use your own
start
metaphor.
somewhere,
It has
though.
to start somewhere. If you do that right,
Yep.
then you save yourself from all the other administrative BS, the forms and the legality and the technicalities, and it's all the things that dehumanizes a relationship for the sake of a business.
You know what that equals? A revolving door practice.
Well, of course,
That
at least,
sucks.
at
That
best,
sucks.
at best,
That
at best.
sucks.
And some of you are probably listening to this, holy shit, that's me. Yeah, okay, I
Mhm.
get it. We got to change that. So it's kind of what we do. Anyway, hey guys, YouTube Live, we're totally enjoying these guys. If you like this, I want you to hit that like button, subscribe to this channel, share this video with some of your colleagues that you think need to hear this, because I know more than a couple need to do. And if you have any ideas for show ideas or topics you want us to cover, hey, we're all ears. So you guys know how to reach us. This is Dr. Dan, Closer Chiro.
Dr. Sean, thank you guys for joining us today. We'll see you in a couple weeks.
Peace. See ya.